So you've got a seller that wants too much for their house. How many times do you meet homeowners that are looking to sell their home, but they initially start at a crazy number? We're going to talk about that today, and we're going to talk about how to get them to a realistic number that actually makes sense and you can get that property listed, but also get it sold. Welcome to today's morning meeting. I'm Greg Luther, the one guy that meets with you every single week to help you in growing your real estate business. Today's topic's a big one because every single agent deals with it. If you're meeting homeowners, they're going to want too much for their home. They're going to tell you all the reasons their home is superior, the reasons it's better than all the comps that you have, which you shouldn't be using comps anyway. We'll talk a little bit about that. And most importantly, they're going to act like they're not listing with you unless you'll agree to their price. Well, why would you list with them anyway? Why would you take that listing if there's a significant chance it's not going to sell? So I want to talk a little bit about that. We'll walk through the process today. Make sure you check in the chat. Let me know the city and state that you sell real estate in. And we're going to talk a little bit about this because every homeowner you meet is going to want too much. You know, I work with a lot of agents that maybe they start contacting FSBOs in their area. And they say, well, the problem with these FSBOs is they're all grossly overpriced. Well, that's every homeowner in town. It's just they've published that fact. They've actually put it on a website, probably Zillow or forsalebyowner.com or whatever. They've published the fact that they want too much for their home. But if you knocked on every door or you talk to every seller that's wanting to sell, they're going to want too much for their house. As a matter of fact, if we owned a car dealership in town and we sold shiny brand new cars and everybody wanted our brand new cars, you know what percentage of the people that come in with a trade-in are going to want too much for their car? Every single one. You'll never meet one that's like, just give me $1,000. That's good enough. I know it's worth $5,000, but I don't want to be greedy. It never happens. They always want, what they want to do is make it easier on them. So they want it to be whatever I owe. If you can get me out on this thing, break even, I'll take it. Well, the same is true on housing. They believe their home is superior to everybody else's, and they're going to try and negotiate with you or fight with you as to why it's worth more. So I wanted to go into detail on that today and kind of talk a little bit about how you get them to the right price, because that is the key factor to you getting sold. You know, one thing I've pointed out to agents a lot is for attorneys, as an example, if an attorney is representing someone, you've seen those ads where they're like, I don't get paid unless you get paid. Well, what that means is they're not charging you a fee. They're taking a percentage of the winnings. And they only get paid if you win. That's called taking it on contingency. They're taking that case on contingency. They only get paid if they're going to win. So you have to go in, you have to plead your case to them, and they're looking at, does this look like a slam dunk deal, or am I going to put in a whole bunch of hours and never get paid? Let me ask you something. Isn't that exactly what we do with listings? Every one of them we meet, we only get paid if we win. So if you go out there and that homeowner, it's worth 500,000 and the homeowner says, I want 550. No, you're not going to beat them up later. And by the way, 70% of their showings happen in the first 21 days. So I hope you're not trying to beat them up after 21 days to get it to a realistic price. Your job is to get them as much as you possibly can under the best terms and make sure everything works out well for them. But you also have to advise them if they're taking a wrong turn. And one of those wrong turns that they're taking is overpricing their home and missing out on that initial surge that we need during that first 21 days. So don't accept a job if you don't know that you're going to get paid, or if you know there's a significant chance you won't get paid. This would be the same as you going to work somewhere and all the people that work there are like, we haven't had a paycheck in weeks. You're like, oh, well, I'll get a paycheck. If you walk into a listing and they want too much for their home and you know this is unrealistic, it's certainly not going to happen, why would you accept that job? So today I'm going to walk you through exactly how you get them to the right price, because everybody you meet is going to want too much. Now, the worst thing you can do is take a tour of the home and sit down and ask the dumbest question a realtor could ever ask. What do you think that is? Somebody let me know what you think the worst question you could ever ask that you should never ask them, because there's no benefit to the answer. But when I've listened to recordings, audio recordings of agents going on their appointments, they always ask this question. It's the dumbest question you should ask. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, before we get started here, let me ask you, how much would you like to get for your home? $78 billion. Why would you ask that? What does that have to do with what it's worth? The only thing that can do is take this big, ugly, hairy number, $729,000, and put it on the table for us to beat that thing down now. Why would you put that on the table? Why would you put that up? Never once have you asked that question and they gave you a number that's 30,000 less than it's worth. It's never happened once. It's always 30,000 more than it's worth. So why would you ask that question? It doesn't do anything but initially start building that fence, building that wall that you're going to have to climb over. So I don't know why you would care about why you're like, well, I want to get a feel for where, let me tell you the feel for where they're at. They want too much for their home. So it doesn't matter how much, whether that's 20 grand or that's 300 grand, it doesn't matter. What we're trying to do is get them to the right price. So the last thing I want to do is ask them, well, how much would you like to get for your home? That is a really bad question. That'd be like me going on a date and I meet the lady and I say, before we start dinner and everything here, let me ask, what would be the perfect man for you? Like, what are you looking for in a man? If she starts talking about abs and strong jawline and captain of the football team and whatever the hell she decides, like, why would you put that shit on the table? Here's what I got. You're going to take it and be interested or you're not. But the last thing I want to do is have them create the perfect scenario for how much their home is going to sell for. How many times, back in the day when we had the no money down financing and everybody was selling their home at premium prices and so many buyers buying and all of that, the problem we had was they were saying, well, as long as you can pay off my first mortgage and my second mortgage, well, what'd you get a second mortgage for? Well, I got a second mortgage because I bought the boat. Okay, so you want the buyer to pay off your boat? That's what has nothing to do with the sale price of your home, how much it's worth based on other competing sales in the area. You actually want them to pay you more for your house because you took out an equity line for more than it was worth. It appraised for more than market value. If homes didn't appraise for more than market value, we would never have foreclosures. But it appraised for more than market value, which is why you're upside down right now. Again, if they didn't appraise higher than they're actually worth, you wouldn't be upside down. They've been in the home a year and they're 30, 40,000 upside down. And they want the buyer to pay that premium because it's convenient for them to make that happen. Well, that's not how it works. So what we do is we go in and I want to show you the magic scenario here of exactly how you make this work. You go in, you do your tour, and a lot of you that have been through the bulletproof presentation, that video training that I do to show you the 5 chapters of a successful listing presentation, taking a tour of the home, 3/4 of the way through, you ask very specific questions. You end up at the kitchen table every single time. You go through your value proposition. You get them to opt in with you first. That's the soft close, right? So Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, based on what we've covered so far, would you agree that provided we can agree on price and terms, I'm by far the best agent to expose your home to the most opportune buyers? Would that be a fair statement? And you get a yes, and then you go to price and commission. If you don't get a yes, you don't skate out into that thin ice. You go back and you build your value proposition again. So they agree you can expose the home to them. They have to choose their agent based on who can expose it to the most opportune buyers, which ultimately supply and demand. It will create more demand for the home, thus selling it for the most amount of money. We'll get into price and terms and everything else, but if you're not agreeing that I'm the one for you, it doesn't matter what my opinion is on price. We're not doing business anyway. See you later. Now, again, that's the bulletproof training. Those of you that are in inner circle coaching, you've got access to all of that. You can go through that whole chapter by chapter, the 5 chapters of a successful listing presentation. But then when we get to pricing, here's the magic scenario. What you say, here's the script. Let's say the home is worth $650,000. Okay. Here's the script you use to do the big reveal. You've got everything in your bag. You haven't brought anything out. Here's the magic words. Listen, your home will sell at $650,000. Write it down. That is amazing. You tell them what it's worth. If it makes you feel better, you can start with, in my professional opinion, your home will sell for exactly $650,000. If that makes you feel better, you can do that. What you don't want to do is bring out all of the damn comps and the CMA. You guys know what a CMA is. That's the Country Music Awards. Ask anybody in the world. They'll say that's Country Music Award. Oh, no, it means comparative market analysis. I don't need an analysis of the market. The market sucks. You're going to do an analysis of that? What are you talking? Well, I'm saying I'll tell you how much your home is worth. Oh, okay. Well, why don't you just do that then? Enough with the BS. How about this? Your home's worth $650,000. Now, if I need data, I've got it and I'll bring it out. But the last thing I want to do is bring it out for them to beat it up. Let me tell you why. I've got a pretty sweet Mercedes in the driveway here in the garage that I never drive. That's not the vehicle that I drive, but it's pretty freaking sweet. It's the matte black and very rare and G-Class and all of that stuff. It's a really sweet car. If I took it into the dealership to sell it today, I don't have a loan on it or anything like that. If I took it in to sell it, we never have a conversation about if you can get me out on it, if I'm break even, whatever. That wouldn't come up. But if they show me, well, Mr. Luther, thank you so much for bringing in your Mercedes. We'd love to buy it. And what I'd like to show you is the last 3 that we've bought here. This one's much like yours, but it doesn't have the sunroof. You better give me that thing. You give me that. Look at that. Look at the tires on this thing. This doesn't even look like my car. Look, this doesn't have the premium rims. Look at the miles on that. This is, if you think that's a comp, you don't even know what my car is. That's what happens with every single homeowner when you bring that crap out, because they are trying to fight for their position. Why would you put yourself in that position? We're building that wall. We're putting another level of bricks across the top of that wall. We already asked them how much they want. We built it this high. Now we're doing another level. Now it's over our eyes. We can't even connect with these people. We're screaming over the wall as to why they should work with us. Who told you that comps is the best way to do it? Real estate college? Now, there's a way we can use comps, and I'm going to show you that. I don't want you to, somebody in the comments here, oh, I can't believe we have to. It's legal. You have to have them sign the comp. You think this is my first day on the job? I've been doing this 25 years. I've listed more properties and been involved with more listings than absolutely any human on the planet. Nobody gets higher fees than us. I have a desk drawer full. I know I show you guys every week. I have a desk drawer full of closings that we've had, actual closing statements that we've had, where we're getting 18% commissions. Don't tell me about how it works in your area. We do this nationwide. We did 3 of them this month, in the month of September. Regardless, let's go back to pricing the home. Your home is worth $650,000. Well, we want $670,000. Does that mean I should get the comps out right now? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What do I say when they say, well, I know you say it's worth this much, but we want this much? What do I say? It's not worth that. Sorry, I can't help you. I wish I could sell it for that. Unfortunately, the comparables in the area, if you're not familiar with what's going on with the market right now, interest rates are high. A lot of buyers aren't buying. What do you say when you say it's worth $650,000 and they say, I want $675,000? How about if you agree with them? How about if we stay on their side of the fence? Let's take a row of bricks off of this wall. We got to bring this wall down. We have to disassemble it. So let's bring that down. Your home's worth $650,000. Well, we wouldn't sell it if we don't get $675,000. We could stay for another couple of years. Well, that's great news for me because I'm a real estate agent. I work on commission. Hell, I want to sell it for $1 million. But unfortunately, if my marketing campaign is as good as we've said, if my promises are actually true, I can expose your property to absolutely more people than any other realtor in town, which means if anybody can get you that $675,000 you're looking for, it's going to be me. As a matter of fact, I think I'm so good, I could trick a buyer into paying that $675,000 you're looking for. But here's the problem. Provided I am that good and we can make that happen, and I can get you $675,000 for your home, the next day, the appraiser is going to come in and we have to have empirical evidence so I can go to bat for us. If anybody can sell your home for $675,000, it's me, but I have to have the empirical evidence so I can justify the $675,000. You remember we talked about in our educational phase here, before you agreed that I'm the best agent for your needs, I showed you that everything's going to be contingent on appraisal, including all cash offers, because frankly, people that have millions of dollars, they're pretty smart. They're not going to overpay for something. I myself buy homes for cash all over the country. I'd never buy one without it being appraised first. So every cash offer is also contingent on appraisal. So if I'm that good, If my promises truly hold up, if anybody can get you 675, it's going to be me. But what we need to do is find the empirical data so I can go to bat for you when the appraiser comes in the next day. Now, I have data in my bag here, and I'm happy to show you what I've got. But frankly, the very peak we're going to get is 650. Now, you seem to think that 675 is going to happen. Show me what you got so we can build our case here. Show me what you're looking at here. Oh, my goodness, does that? Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think about that? Do you see how I'm staying on their side of the fence? I'm agreeing with them. It makes sense. I'm on commission. I want to sell it for $50 million. You're going to have to talk me down. But unfortunately, as good as I am at marketing, I have to have empirical data that I can justify to the appraisers. And in my presentation, I already talked about, well, everybody here buys for cash. Well, yeah, cash buyers get an appraisal too. I myself do the same thing. What do you think about that? If you're utilizing that approach. Now, we may then get to phase 3, which is where I do need to bring out, because I don't have anything over 650. If I could get it to 675, I would have already told them that number. But I don't have anything over 650. So what I need to do is then I bring out my data. They bring out their data. Well, I think the one down the street, that one sold for 675 and it's all trashed, and they sell drugs out of that house and it's nothing like mine. And I have a 78 billion BTU air conditioned unit that I just paid $100,000 for. All of that crap that we see all the time that when we're meeting with homeowners, that comes up. Well, what I want to do is I bring out my comps, and I have my comps and MLS printout for each one. I'm not doing a freaking company created, MLS created CMA that justifies the prices and does a compare. I'm not doing that. 123 Main Street, 125 Main Street, 127 Main Street. Here's the 3 houses, the 3 closest comparables, and here's their house. It's just a blank piece of paper, but this is their house, which let's say it's the tax auditor printout, whatever you would do to show their home. And then here's what we do. Well, Mr. Homeowner, here's your information. Obviously, you're at 127 Broad Street, and you are 2,200 square feet, 4-bed, 2.5 bath. Of course, you got the finished basement here. If you can hold that for me, go ahead and hold this. Okay. They're holding it. What I did is I pulled the 3 closest comparable sales. I never bring up price. Do not talk about price right here. Okay. I never bring it up. Here's what I say. Well, this one here was 2,100 square feet. It's a little bit smaller than yours, and the lot's a little inferior as well. It's a close comp, but I do think your home is superior to that one. But that one's 2,100 square feet and does not have the finished basement. This one here is pretty close. 2,200 square feet, finished basement. It says partially finished. I'm not sure if it's as nice as yours is, but nearly the same square footage, and the lot is almost exactly the same. I think condition's pretty close too. Here's some of the pictures for condition. And then here's that big one right down the road. That's the 5-bedroom, the 2,500 square foot one. I'm sure you're familiar with that one there. So based on these 3, go ahead and slide your home in here wherever you think your home fits. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to slide their home right in there. And I would agree with you because, again, this is 2,200 square and bedrooms and the fenced yard and the whatever. And this one was the superior. So I would agree you fit right in there. 640. 648, 660. You, the homeowner, just priced your home. It's definitely somewhere between 648 and 660. You just inserted your reality. You inserted your square footage, your finishes, your updates, your lot size, your condition, your all of that stuff. You just inserted it where it goes. Do you have any more we can put on here? I'd be happy to do so. Do you have any other justification? Do you have another address we can use? I would love to do so. But they said it's worth this. You hand it to them first. You get them to place it in there. Guys, this is what works. This is what's creating the result. How many of you say this is incredibly helpful for you just to kind of do a scrimmage here, do a practice of this? Is this helpful compared to everything else that's being taught? Oh, you need a fancy CMA where it's all compared and it's got your logo and it's got your photo. That's not your photo. That's your photo from 12 years ago. It's got all that stuff on there and you're trying to make it look good for them to beat it up. I don't want them to beat up the comps. When you get this part right, you go through those phases of tell them what it's worth, ask them if they have any data that will help us because I want to drive this price up. and then you bring out the comps, let me know if that's helpful. If that is helpful, smash the like button here. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up or a heart or something. Let me know that this is working, that this is helpful for you to do a better job when you meet them, because what you don't want to do is put another row of bricks across the top. What you don't want to do is bring the comps out first and then start saying, oh, well, I know that you think it's worth that, but you're losing credibility and authority right now. Every word that comes out of your mouth, sentence by sentence, you're losing credibility and authority because it's not what they want to hear. Don't say things that make them think, well, this ain't going well. I wish he'd shut up so he could leave. We're definitely not listening with him. I wish he'd stop talking. So that's what's going on in their mind. So what I want to do is keep taking down these rows of bricks as I disassemble this wall, and I can do a better job of getting them to the right price. I need to have trust, authority, and credibility. You know, if you're an Inner Circle member, I got my mouse pad here. If you're an Inner Circle member, you know what it's all about. In the middle of that, it's not going to focus. It says right here, trust. Oh, there we go. I have to move it back. Trust, authority, credibility. Those are the three factors you have to be building as you're going through this with homeowners. So now you're getting it priced right, and you're getting them to their own reality. I know they want too much. That's normal for them to want too much, but you fan out the comps. You let them price their home, not you. And then you reveal what the price was. You're doing amenities, 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 amenities. Where do you think you fit? They slide it in and you may not agree with where they slide it, but they slide it in. Then you reveal price. What I'm saying is, you don't say this one's 2,200 square feet. It's got a finished basement. That one sold for 640. They're thinking, okay, well then that shit doesn't matter because I said 640. Don't say the price, say the facts. Say the details, the amenities, the quality, the condition. Those are the things that really matter. But don't fight them on the price. Again, if anyone can sell at that price, I can, but we're going to have that evil appraiser come in. Help me to build our case. What can we do here? We need empirical data. Write that down. We have to have empirical data. That sounds so much better than comps, because comps are something that is, maybe I agree that home is the same as mine, but probably not. Everybody thinks their home is the best in the area. Everybody thinks they have the nicest home in the entire neighborhood. Okay, so you need empirical data. That's what they take to court to justify their case. They take empirical data. Okay. And there's going to be some times that, I'd rather turn you down now than let you down later. That's a really good one to use because it's kind of a takeaway, but it doesn't feel like a takeaway. Well, I understand you want 670, but, I'm certainly trust and authority and that type of thing is important to me. And I never want to break our promise that if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'll do it. And your home's simply just not going to sell at 670. I could get a buyer to agree to that. We just can't get it to the closing table with that. I'd rather turn you down now than let you down later. Okay, so real simple for you to do that. And again, as you go through those 5 chapters in the Bulletproof presentation, that Bulletproof presentation was me on stage for a full day. I've been talking to you for like 15 minutes. That was me on stage for a full day showing you how to give a listing presentation. I give that to Inner Circle members completely free of charge. Now, as you guys know, Inner Circle enrollment has been closed for 5 months. Sorry, can't get in. We actually opened it up just for 3 days, but it closes in like an hour here again. So it's going to be closed for a long, long time to come. We did a 3-day training and opened it up for a few days here. lutherinnercircle.com. You'll see some details. But if you're not watching this live, it's too late anyway. It's already closed. Closed at 2:00 today. But again, as you get the pricing right on these things, you start to realize that, hey, when I meet homeowners, they're all supposed to be unrealistic. They're all supposed to want too much for their home. And what happens is, us as agents, we do what other agents do, but those are the agents that are failing. We do what our broker teaches us to do. It's a perfect name for them because they're broker than you are. They have no idea how to create success for themselves. This is the proper way to sell a home. And by the way, this is the copyright protected way to sell the home. Other people don't teach this because they're not allowed to. And I have statistically over and over and over sued the fake coaches that keep copying my shit, because this is what works. And that's why I have it as intellectual property and it's all protected. There's only one I haven't been able to go after yet because I got to get me a Canadian attorney to do so. That's next on the list. But my shit actually works. Why do you think they keep copying it? Every time you see them copying my stuff, I want you to comment on their stuff. Total fraud. It's a fraud because they're probably watching right now. And then they go and try and teach us stuff. You know why? Because this gets the agent's results. You go out, you build your listing inventory, you start making lots of money, and you realize this stuff works. But this is general communication skills. This is just communication between seller and agent. You're staying on their side of the fence. You're disassembling that wall rather than putting another layer on top of it. And you get good at staying on their side of the fence, but being that authority position to make it work for you, right? To show them, hey, I want to sell it for $10 million. Unfortunately, this is what we're stuck with right now. Now, some of this is going to be your feel for the market too, because interest rates, current market conditions, what it feels like in the market. Can I look at all these comps and go 5,000 higher? Or do I need to look at these comps and go 5,000 lower? Because in a shrinking market, you are not going to get comparable price value. That the comps that you see, we are in a descending market. We are in a depreciating market. When you see those comps, we need to go under that. We damn sure don't need to go over that. We're double overpriced. Because if we go equal with the comps, we're not going to sell. We're in a descending market. As we start to go up in the market, as we start to go into an appreciating market, now we can look at the comps and go 5,000 higher. We damn sure can't go 30,000 higher. Bad move. You'll lose that 21 days. That's 70, I think it's 71% of the showings that you're going to have are going to be in the first 21 days. Then what do you want to do? Fight for scraps when you finally got them to the right price? Don't accept a case if you can't win in court. Don't do it. You only get paid if you get to the closing table. So when you meet with this client and they have unrealistic expectations, you're not going to get paid. No, it's not better to have a listing. Now you know what your whole focus is. You shut down your whole business and you start emailing me. You have access to Greg Luther. And you know what your email is? Greg, can you help me to sell this listing? I'm desperate to sell this listing. I just can't get it to sell at all. Will you buy my listing? I need help to get my, no, you don't. You need to fix your damn business. And you signed up for a job you know you couldn't get paid on. So now you're shutting down all your other opportunities to get paid because you're desperate to sell this thing. The damn thing ain't going to sell. Why do you want me to buy it? Because nobody else on the planet will? Get your business right. Have a realistic conversation with your clients. And when you do this, I'm telling you, you'll be the authority position. One of my mentors told me a long time ago, people are walking around with their umbilical cord out and they're just looking for someone to plug into. They're silently begging to be led. They want a professional to tell them, here's how it works. So if you become that position in their mind, they're going to listen to you. They're going to get to the right price. But you'll find top producers don't take overpriced listings. They just don't do it. They might have a new assistant that goes out or a licensee or somebody on a team or whatever that goes out and does a bad job. But the top producer is the authority position. When they go out, they get the deal at the right price. I want that person to be you. That's how you become a top producer. So if that's helpful for you, let me know. Smash the thumbs up here. Share this with somebody. Tag somebody, whatever you want to do. You don't have to follow this page, by the way. Many of you know I do our morning meetings every Tuesday. You don't have to follow the page. Hopefully, if the algorithm's doing its job, it occasionally gets it in front of you. But if you're truly trying to get good information to help your business, you do need to follow the page and ring the bell. Turn on notifications. It's the only way you're going to get that info. But I want to give you as much as I can. This is totally free. But I want to give you as much as I can to help you in growing your business here. And then you can go out and actually do a great job, help the seller. You do a better job for that family. You then start getting more word of mouth referrals. Business starts to take off for you. You build a great reputation in the area because you're being that authority position with the homeowner. So hopefully that's helpful for you today. If there's anything I can do to help you in growing your business, let me know. If you are watching this live, you got about an hour and a half. And this thing is gone. We're closing Inner Circle enrollment again. The last time we closed it, right to the day, it was 5 months. We had a waiting list of over 400 people that were trying to get into Inner Circle. And I was just helping that group to grow their business and to get lots of closings and stay focused on them instead of newbies coming in. We got a whole bunch of people coming in right now, but it closes today. So wanted to give you some great info today. Doesn't matter to me if you join. That helps your business, not mine. Doesn't matter if you join or not. I'd love to help you if you're ready. But if you're not, if you don't need more closings, if you're not trying to finish a year strong, I was writing a newsletter this morning that's coming out next week to all of our members. And we were talking about every year we see this phenomenon where agents will get more closings in the last quarter of the year than they had in their first 3 quarters combined. And it happens all the time because that clock is ticking and we're realizing, like, if you didn't hit your goals, you haven't hit your numbers. So many agents are just nose to the grindstone, implementing at a high level, and they get more closings the last quarter than they did the first 3 quarters combined. We got a big old group of those people getting ready to go through that right now, which is why we're closing up today, and I'm getting everybody rocking so we can get them closing deals immediately. Hopefully this is helpful. Get your homes priced the right way. Make sure you're going through it without bringing out comps and letting them cause all those issues that creates. Go through that 3-step system. And those of you that are members with us, jump on the member site and go through bulletproof listing presentations again. That was a full day of me on stage showing you how to give a good presentation. This was one little bitty sliver of it, which is the basics on pricing a home. I'm here to help you. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Greg Luther. Share this with a friend. We got to step up who we all are as real estate agents. The market is freaking tough right now. And frankly, we're all tired of dealing with people that are uneducated on the other side of the equation. The buyer and seller agents that you have to deal with, sometimes those co-ops aren't fun. Get them educated. Share this information and we'll rise all boats. The rising tide lifts all boats, not just the yachts. Everybody gets lifted. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much. I'm Greg Luther, and bye-bye for now.